Biafruma, UNEB released the 2011 results. And in a number of schools, we realized that students' performance was slowly declining. Not only in candidate classes, we realized that even in S1, S2, S3, S5, P2, P3, P4, the performance is declining. And today on Minibuzz, we're going to talk about who is to blame for the poor performance of children in schools. Academically, whether they don't interact socially well, we are going to find out all those issues today. And I want to start with you, Sebo. Yes. Do you have a child who is in school already?
Yes.
What class are they in?
Mine is still nursery.
Nursery?
Yes.
Now, those questions are going to be hard. Because I was going to ask you, what do you think that the school that your child is going to is actually performing very well?
I don't say it's performing very well, because when I look at the origin of the teachers, see when say like I am maybe like from Banda, and I have studied in Banda, I've actually not changed environment. I have not seen how people from other places perform.
Right.
Then actually it's very hard for actually that, you see, when those teachers they come back, actually when they study from there, they work there, they do everything for one area, they don't see what is happening in other areas.
Right.
So it's actually very, 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 very difficult for, maybe if such kind of persons become like teachers, it's actually very hard for them to actually the knowledge they have learned to actually produce good children,
good students. Right.
But somebody who has actually gone and seen other things from other areas will actually come and replicate other new ideas,
right?
Leave alone this person who has not gone.
Right.
Yes.
Fena mu basi buli omu aina we yatuukako ne bati wamalayo watuukako mu level mu kusomesa nga buli omu yayitako mu ssomero. So leo tugenda njagala nkubuze nyabo ali mu koona gwe olowooza essomero lye wagendamu lyali likola bulungi?
As in Ginger Carrot Primary School,
okay,
which is in Kawempe.
Right.
Yeah. It depends on how the teachers do their thing, and it depends on the environment. Yeah. As for me, my school, for us, they used to give us good meals, and they give us in time. In that, after having that meal, you go in class when you're happy, your brain is it's sound. I mean, yeah, it's the environment and the good teachers and I'm still here to understand why people emphasize food. I mean, bread, food. If you don't put anything inside, I'm telling you, you will not get the knowledge so well. First of all, if you go in class, you have not had lunch, you will doze.
But still, no worry,
it depends on which kind of food have you eaten and which amount have you taken in. You get. Yeah, that is it.
Chiva ku mbeera y'ekitundu ekisooka. Essomero ly'omu kibuga terijja kukola ngeri mu kyalo. Primary yange nagisomera mu kyalo. Nalirira ka district.
Yes sir.
Kale twali mu kasomero ka private naye nga kikwewunyisa ke kaali kasinga okukola obulungi naye nga first grade tulese babiri second grade nga 8 naye nga batusitula
ngate kati mmwe
ate ng'owulira eri lyalese first grade eyasembe ali mu second grade ng'ate enewaffe bajakanya okiwulira. Kale okukola obubi kwokiviira ddala mu kitundu kikibalimu. N'ekirala kale kiva ne ku bazadde sometimes omuzadde taweereza mwana budde bumala. Omwana w'omukyalo yalina okusenya enku, yalina okugyayo ente ku ttale, yalina okugyayo embuzi, tafuna budde buna advising ng'owo mu kibuga. Mu kibuga talima, talina nsolo gy'agenda ku kimeeri, talina ki, abeera n'obudde buno obumala okukola ki? Okusoma.
Brand, a good student, however much a teacher is from Gulu, is from Kampala, a good student, still, be it raising the marks, be it the paper was hard, still a good student will pass that paper.
But what do you do if the teacher, actually, the student is more bright than the teacher?
Okay.
Because we've seen those cases where abana abamu basinga basomesa amagezi.
Yeah, that is possible. But now I don't think if you're brighter than me and I'm marking your paper, it means I'll fail you because you're brighter than me.
Right.
I think I'll just have to take your answer, which is very correct. But in my overview about the performance last year, I was fortunate at my former school, that was the logarithmic school in Nalia. I was retained as a teaching assistant because I had performed well in A level.
Fantastic.
But to me, I would partly blame students because if you have to look at the orientation first of all, it is very okay. You find that he talked about the regions, that is okay. I also agree with that, and I don't have to argue about that. But if you have to look at the good schools, for example the Nalia SS, you would ask yourself, why is someone getting 3 points? Why is someone failing? And for me, I partly blame the students.
Right.
You can teach and teach, but there are students who still say, so still that bad impression. But on to the teacher's side, for me, in my senior 5, I'd never dreamt of getting more than anything like 18 points and above.
So your target was 18 and
yes,
above?
But because formerly the school was under another management, but Nalia SS came in. I'm not advertising for Nalia, but it's still the school I'm talking about.
Right.
When it came in as the management, the headmaster who came in, he was new to us. Not that he was young, but the orientation he gave to us, he could call one by one. Kato, you can perform. Kato, you can perform. He gave us that strength, which other teachers we had were not giving to us.
Right.
At the end of the day, results came out as I had gotten 20 points and above. I went on government. So, for private schools, I think teachers also have a role to play.
Right.
Because some teachers are too harsh. I'm telling you, there was a student who had never got anything like 2 points. But that you name under this money, under this headmaster, he was able to get 10 points and now he's at Makerere studying. So for me, for private schools, I partly blame teachers.
We got the opportunity to talk to probably one of the most famous education consultants in this country, Mr. Fajil Mandi, and we're going to take a look at what he told us about schools performing good and not well, but also come back and look at solutions at the student level, at the government level, at the school level.
Why do some people fail the exams? The reasons they have given me are as follows. They have said that a lot of students over-involve themselves in love relationships. Number 2, they manage their time poorly. Number 3, they are lazy. Number 4, they do not have the right study methods.
Right.
So those are the 4 major ones from the personal point of view of a student, and this is researched. The business of a school is inside the class or how the children are being taught.
Yes.
Now my next question is, who is responsible for seeing that children are being taught in this country? When you move around, heads of departments are only asking for schemes of work and lesson preparations. Schemes of work and lesson preparations don't mean that the teacher is actually effectively teaching and that the learner is effectively learning.
That's true.
So the real, as they say, the real taste is of the pudding, whatever it is. The real knowing really that the class children are learning is when you sit inside the classroom. Right. I want to ask the nation, how many heads of departments sit inside a lesson and watch the children being taught? How many deputies in charge of academic watch the children being taught?
Right.
How many head teachers do that? How many DEOs do that? How many district inspectors of schools do that? How many chairmen of boards of governors do that? Heads of departments are the ones who control how subjects are being taught. Do they follow up? Apart from looking at the syllabus, the schemes of work and lesson preps. Abazadde, one, balina okukimanya nti bwe basomesa abasooka. Omuzadde gw'otendeka omwana wo n'omuweereza mu ssomero. Number 2, n'omulondoola mu ssomero. Leka kuddira mwana omusuule mu mikono gy'omusomesa nti nze omwana nnamye mukulekedde. Omuzadde funa omukwano n'omusomesa kale nawe webale nnyo okujja n'onnoonya weewaawo wansanze enkola exercise zange zambalidde owulidde bino bye ŋŋamba nti n'abaana mu masomero balina okubikola birongoosa obwongo bw'olaba nze wenkaaga mwena nkikola ate obwongo se bwetaaga n'omwana mwatu
Mwami Fajiru Mane mumuwulidde abazadde tulina omulimu munene ogw'okukola okumakinga sure nti amasomero abaana baffe gye bagenda geeyongera okukola obulungi naye tuddeyo mu bus twogere ku nsonga zino so that we find solutions to make sure that our students excel in school. Reporting for the Minibuzz, this is Brian Chogereko. Fajiru Mane tumuwulidde. I think there are a couple of issues I'd like to highlight. First of all, how does involving yourself in a relationship make you feel?
But a bit, it had disturbed me at some certain point. It was in my senior 5. Okay, I wasn't doing it was because I knew nothing. You know, feelings come, but you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You fear girls. You get it. I used to fear girls. Even up to now, I fear girls. But
they are beautiful girls.
Yes, they are beautiful. Okay, by the first time I tried it, somehow I lost concentration. Whereby you spend most of your time writing cheats to that girl you feel desire, writing cheats. At one moment, because I had a twin brother, I used to perform better than him. But results came out. My class teacher asked, Kato, what is wrong with you? I knew it. That it badly disturbed. I kept it to myself because I couldn't tell that it was a girl.
It might be very different. But I actually get more strength to perform well so that she knows she's going to be with a brilliant man.
Yes. So you're interested, but she doesn't know. But if both of you get to know about yourself, that you love yourself, of course, certain actions have to come in, have to be applied. Writing cheats, meeting where this corner, this corner. So it partly disturbed me. But I was blessed. I got a good teacher. He was a friend.
Right.
But when I came so close to this teacher, somehow I felt that guilt that the teacher expects a lot out of me. Why should I deny him this chance?
Right.
So I decided to drop that girl. That girl, we are now enemies because of what I performed. So for me,
kale kibogerako kiyinza okuba kituufu naye nze nali wanjawulo kubanga mu secondary nali mulungi ku sciences nali nkola sciences nnyo okufuba buli muwala omulungi ajja neebuuzeko okitegeera waliwo ekibuuzo kye babuuzanga mutuufu nga buli omu takiwulirangako naye nga nze nabikula mu bitabo by'abaaba eyo gye nakasanga neekateekawa era nga buli omu yeebuuza naye ebyangu sometimes bikulema n'okukalwa bwe tutawulirangako gw'obutta okitegeera ninneeyongera okutakula obwongo buli muwala omulungi ajja neebuuze ku nze ng'ate kinyongera amaanyi okukola ki okutakula so nze nabeeranga ndaba bajja jeni nga nyongera okuwaga salaba banemesa kusoma kale nali sibeera nnyo nkuwagala amakwane nabeerangako n'omuntu tukola omukwano ndowooza oyo naye balina obuzibu bumu bassa enjala ogenda n'owulira enjala ekuluma noti ogenda ku kiyungu ate okufuna akawunga wa sayansi koolina sente awo enjala ngaekuluma ate omufiira mu ddoomu awe nabakyayira nga nsinkananga kawunga netaka kasitaki munda munamufiri nobalimbalimba kumba oliki oli lukebe